viewers around the world, you are welcome to this wonderful program we've put up for our global audience, and this is Talking Drums. Talking Drums. Talking Drums is our program where we discuss various issues, a program where we discuss things that affect us. Talking Drum is a program that dives into deep issues, news, truths that defines our common humanity, and we are here today. So Talking Drum is rolling out Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. West African Time. And as usual, I have with me my friends, my colleagues, George Chuku. George, you are welcome to Talking Drums.
Well, we welcome viewers from around the world, Mark. I just want to appreciate you for inviting me to this show. It is a pleasure having you here, where we just going to allow the drum to talk about the things that concerns us in Africa, especially in Nigeria. With the election coming in a few days, we have a lot to talk about. Welcome viewers from around the world. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Thank you very much, viewers around the world. So, George, election is drawing close, like you said. Election day in Africa's biggest democracy, and that's Nigeria. Nigeria will be seeing its election hold, and we see it as a crossroad for global prosperity. Yes, we see it as a crossroad for global prosperity, bearing in mind that Nigeria as a country is African largest economy, African biggest population. Nigeria has been looking forward to this election 2023. A country that has about 200 million population, has gone through a lot of political history. Now Nigeria is about to take the lead. Nigeria also has been going through a lot, combating threats that has been disturbing its existence, threats that has gone beyond the loss of human lives and human suffering, violence all around, instability, and all of these have created a lot of threat to the Nigerian economic growth. But regardless of that, Nigeria has been making efforts to diversify its economy also from the oil that we've always relied on to invest in agriculture, manufacturing, and services. And now we have also young people that are starting up good business ideas. So the effort is to keep growing. George, so now it's election time. And what will you say, coupled with all that has happened and all that is still happening presently in Nigeria? What will you say, Sir George? What's your take on today's Talking Drum, looking into Nigeria and the election on Saturday, 25th of February?
Well, my stake is this. You mentioned that Nigeria is the largest economy in Africa.
Yes.
Is the largest population in Africa, but also out of every 11 Black individual in the world is a Nigerian. And you have to see that the country is a strategic country when it comes to the world economy. The whole people in the whole African nations, they are looking towards the Nigeria as a leader, as the giant of Africa. Because when it is good for Africa, the other countries will follow. But what we have seen for the past, since the independence in 1960, has been a very disappointing, progress. It's been stagnated simply because of the leadership that we have had in Nigeria. Stagnated because self-interest rather than public interest has been the honor of the day. Stagnated simply because the pocket of the people, of the politicians, are more important than the infrastructure that can move the country forward. So what we are seeing here is a crossroad. We are in a very strategic inflection point. The strategic inflection point is, can we continue with the status quo? Can we continue doing what we are doing before, thinking the way we've been thinking, and then expect a different result? The answer is no. The time has come in the last few weeks of last few months, we have seen an increase in insecurity in Nigeria, number one. We have seen inflation stifle everything, number two. We have seen fuel scarcity come to disrupt every business, from the mom-pop business in the marketplace to the infrastructures for the factories that are manufacturing to the hotels in Nigeria. This is what we are seeing, which is a call to order, a call to a change, a paradigm shift in the way we have been thinking. You have been depending on the leaders that we had voted in to lead us to a greener pasture. But what they have done is turn that greener pasture to the green in their backyards, in their bank accounts, in Swiss Bank and all other places. So on the 25th of this month, Nigeria is at a cross point. Are we going to continue with the rogues that we have called politicians in the past, or are we now going to say enough is enough? We are the citizenry. Democracy is for the people, by the people, and for the people. Therefore, what are we looking to allow them to railroad us again into what we have been experiencing, a road that leads to nowhere? Here we are, my people, on the 25th. We are looking forward. Many of you in Nigeria today, you have been experiencing the fuel scarcity. Many of you that are able to, you have been lining up in gas stations, fuel stations where you're not even able, sometimes you leave your car there to go home and come back. Now, all of a sudden, the most recent one is the recoloring of our naira, which would have been a fantastic idea if it was done well. But what has happened is we have a myopic view of looking in one direction without thinking about the consequences of our missteps. A lot of people today are dying in that country simply because of hunger. Many people are dying today in that country simply because they are not able to access their money. Insecurity is all over the place. Now, the question is for you Nigerians. Would you continue to look and see this small group of people harness power and continue to put you down and rub your face on the ground? Are you going to rise up and say, enough is enough? This is our time that we will go and choose the person that we know is a quality individual who will lead this nation to the promised land. Wow. That's what we are facing, my people.
That's what
so today we're going to be talking about it. And I'm inviting a lot of you, bring your comments on, bring your questions on, because this is our time. Enough is enough. Nigeria, wake up, because you have been sleeping.
Wow, some strong ones from George. George, these are strong words you are releasing here. Yes, our viewers are coming in. Yes, you're free to bring in your comments, bring in your opinions, your suggestions, whatever it is. This is Talking Drums, Talking Drum show. Talking Drum actually looks into all angles of discussion, but today we are narrowing it to politics, and we're narrowing to the Nigerian election come 25th February 2023, 4 days from now. So George, apart from so many of these ills you've mentioned, there are some important things that should be said, because we're also looking how Nigeria affects the world, how our politics, our economy, and everything. And there was something I was going through. I was studying myself, and that's the fact that Nigeria has the potential to be a key exporter of agricultural produce, and not just relying on that oil we've been doing. Nigeria has over 84 million, did you hear that? 84 million hectares of arable land that are naturally enriched. You don't need to add anything to it, and this size, this 84 million hectare is larger than the size of Turkey as a country, but only 45% of that arable land is currently being cultivated. There's abundant rainfall. The Nigerian weather is good. The Nigerian environment is also good. Labor force has to be increased to help that agricultural production. So we are looking at this. our dependence on oil has not done us too much good. And it's also one of the pitfalls of the politician. They come in and everybody just looks into that sector, and they are not seeing the rich land God has given us. Imagine, Sir George, Ukraine and Russia went to war, and Africa complained of food, wheat, corn, all this food were not getting. Africa said, now that we're narrowing to Nigeria. Nigeria said, we don't have wheat because Ukraine is fighting war. We don't have corn. We don't have cassava. Can you imagine that? That's the
This
level.
is what you call a shameful, very, very shameful.
Very
In the 70s, when we had the Festac celebration, one of the countries, we gave them palm produce as a gift from Nigeria. Today, that country is the largest producer of palm produce, palm oil. They are exporting it over. That is part of their highest GDP per year.
I heard that, yes. And I think that's.
Can you imagine that? Now listen to this. Because you move in the direction of your dominant thoughts. The oil came. All of our attention has been on the oil because we are wanting to just, get our own piece of the pie from the oil. All the politicians are looking, how can we get our own portion? Look at the senators, look at the House of Reps. How much are they being paid? What are their allowances per year? Go to other developed countries. How much are they being paid? Because all our attention is, how can I get my own? Today, Nigeria is in such a sorry state simply because the money that are being voted in the House and the Parliament for infrastructure, 9 times out of 10, by the time it gets down to the way the rubber will meet the road, the money is gone. If you go and study this Niger bridge that we are talking about, how much money has been allocated for that Niger bridge, and up until today, we are singing and clapping that it's almost done, but yet it's not done. We are looking at the whole entire thing, Nigeria. Do you know that Nigeria could be supplying only, just onions alone from the north, and
Yes.
groundnuts, peanuts from the north alone can actually sustain Nigerian economy? Do you know that we can actually produce rice in Nigeria that they used to do in Abakaliki that can actually, sustain Nigeria? Look at palm oil. God gave us the best gift and the best intellectual people in Nigeria, the most intelligent group of people. That's why we are still surviving in spite of all that we have been going through. Because I can tell you one thing, I don't know how, I don't think God discriminates, but this one in Nigeria, he discriminated when he brought our people together because we are the most intelligent. Look at the music industry today. So
Yes.
when you're talking about all these things, given the opportunity,
I'm coming, yes.
Given the opportunity in Nigeria and being harnessed and taken advantage of by the leaders in Nigeria to increase our capacity and our capabilities in taking care of, just the regular mechanization of agriculture. This is where we could have been 10, 15, 20 years ago. We could have been exporting. I'm talking about any natural organic food that you want could have been exported from Nigeria. And today would have been richer and better than Dubai, better than Singapore, and better than all these other countries. So today, what is our problem? So now listen to this, Joe.
Okay,
because when you are saying how we're going to help the economy of the world, the North Americans and the European countries do not want us to come to that place where we will become completely and absolutely independent. They want us to continue to be dependent upon them. With the state of the economy in Nigeria and the borrowing that we have been borrowing, which is a shameful act, considering the amount of money that country is supposed to be bringing in. They want us to give us welfare money so that we can depend on them. So whenever they want to say anything, we will listen to them. Whenever they want to do anything, we will follow them. Because this is nothing but steal. That's the reason Nigeria must come to the place where we are listening to that music by Bob Marley. Emancipate yourself from these foreign countries that have taken us, our minds, and crushed it, and nothing that comes out of Africa is good anymore. If it comes from North America, we clap. If it comes from Europe, we clap. When it comes from Africa, we neglect it. Yet they want to be like us. Yet our food is better than theirs. Yet our food can sustain life better than theirs because our food is organic food. So what we're talking about is, who is it that wants us to succeed? I believe that most African countries will want us to succeed. But many of these European countries do not want Nigeria to become a world power, which can be done in about 8 to 10 years if we put our heads together.
Thank you very much, Sir George. Sir George, the viewers are listening and the numbers are growing too. We have about 200 people listening to us. And well, this is Talking Drums. George, myself are looking into Talking Drum is actually a program that talks on variety of issues, everything, human endeavors. But today we're narrowing down to politics, and we're looking into the Nigerian election. We're looking into Nigeria as a country, Nigeria as its geopolitical factors affect the world. And thank you very much. Yes, somebody's clicking like. Yeah, we have more likes. Thank you. Bring in the numbers, bring in your views, bring in your comments too, and your opinions on Nigeria. Nigeria is the topic this week. On the 25th of February, 3 days from now, we'll be going to the polling vote. We'll be voting, and we want to really narrow down to the real facts of life that affects us as Nigerians. So, George,
yes,
our country has also shown potentials to nurture a growing entrepreneurial class. Young boys and young girls are becoming business-minded. They are thinking entrepreneurship, and they are coming up with good ideas. And somehow the government have done their best, but they could do more. Entrepreneurs, these young startups are not really equipped. We know we have the trader money, some of those things the government has done under Buhari's administration, but I don't think it has really gotten to the core of this entrepreneurship that is rising up. And like in Europe, it is this small business that actually supports the big economy. Mm-hmm. So if the government doesn't understand how to work with the small business, support small businesses, encourage small businesses, make more people come up with more small business ideas and carry them through, we might be losing out in a lot, because creativity, innovation, and so many things are springing up in the minds of these young ones. Ideas are coming up, and but they need real proper nurturing, care, understanding what they are doing and following them through. So I'm talking entrepreneurship in Nigeria, business. We call it business. So what will you say about this? What's your take on the young business going on?
Entrepreneurship in Nigeria, they say that necessity is the mother of invention. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, what is happening in our country today can be looked from different angles. It could become a stumbling block. Mm-hmm. If you're looking at it from a negative standpoint, or it could become a stepping stone for the whole entire nation. Those young people that went to university are unable to find a job. This is your time. But what the government is supposed to do, give them light, good roads, and give them necessities of life. Things, give them security. that a young man can leave Sokoto and travel to Lagos without
mostly
fear.
electricity. Electricity is
Electricity is number one.
number one.
Because you look at our businesses today, some of these people that have put their money together, they build hotels. All of a sudden, you're not able to sustain because you're buying gas and fuel or diesel to maintain 24/7. That increases the amount of money they charge to people when they come to stay in the hotel. So all these things go
Now,
all the way down to the bottom. So
Sir
now,
George, okay, I want to help you. Logically, Sir George, electricity should come first before um, every other concept in business. You know, I mean, even biblically, let's look a little into the Bible. The first thing God did was light first, light.
let there be light. Let
So
there be
light
light.
first, then light now, electricity now brings the idea, the other things, the machineries, the gadgets, the or concept and everything. But I don't know, we are doing ours the other way around. We are going back, we're doing our
This is exactly what has been going on politically in Nigeria.
okay.
The question has been, let's just say from after the war, we had Gowon, we have Shehu Shagari, we have Obasanjo, we have Yaradua, we have Obasanjo again. We have all these politicians that are coming in. Are you trying to tell me that they are so dumb and deaf and blind that they don't know the necessity of electricity in Nigeria or what it can do to the economy of the nation? You see, what is happening now is the power that be. When Abacha was in rule, Abacha now wanted to transport, to ship out crude oil out of Nigeria, and the daughter will now bring in refined oil back into the country. We are dancing. We have taken it. After all, in 1960, all the young people that actually got so upset about what is going on in the country and wanted to take over, they were in their 20s.
That's correct.
Think about it. Gowon was in his 20s, Obasanjo was in his 20s, Ojukwu was in his 20s. All the rest of them were in their 20s. So what we are saying right now, but what we have done, we have taken all these old goons that don't know their left from their rights, that don't even know the questions, and they're trying to give you answers, to come and take over and continue to rule us as long as they have light in their domain. As long as they are able to sustain, they don't care about the masses. And my message today is to the youth of Nigeria. This is your time. If you allow this to happen again in that country, you have nobody else to blame but yourself. This is your time.
Thank you.
You are intelligent enough, you are educated enough, you are enlightened enough to know the person who is going to take you to that promised land, who is going to take you away from your mother's house where you have been living since you graduated, to get your own house and get your own condominium, to get your own apartment. This is your time. If you allow them to continue to do this, it is your fault, not theirs, because you cannot tolerate it anymore. This is your time. If you don't rise up and say, thus far, no further, they will continue to do this. Why are there not lights in Nigeria? Because of businesses that are importing diesel, importing generators. They stifle what has been, what can be.
Sir George,
look at little nations.
We're going to go on a small break. This is serious. Talking Drum viewers around the world. This is Talking Drum. George and I were Talking Drum actually looks into various issues in life, but today we're narrowing down to politics, and we're looking into the Nigerian election that comes in three days' time. So Talking Drum is your program, is our program. Come express yourself. Come open up your ideas, whatever it is. It's time for Nigeria to take the center stage where it belongs. Nigeria is overdue to be that plan, that dream we've always been having. This is that time. This is it. It's up in our face, and it's up to us all to take over and do the needful. Thank you very much, Sir George. Let's go on a short break now. We'll be back talking drums. Welcome back to Talking Drums. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajua, and I'm here in the studio with my friend, my colleague, all the way from Toronto, Canada, George Chukwu. George, Talking Drums. You were saying some very strong thing earlier on. We were talking about electricity. We're talking about the young minds that are becoming entrepreneurial, and they need to have good conditions to bring up the business ideas in them. Now, also, George, Nigeria has shown that it has a great arrangement for the one booming industry called Nollywood. Nollywood. The Nollywood industry is a billion-dollar film industry, and it has been made possible by the combination of new technologies, new presentation of our culture into the movie world. So investing in that business and looking into that sector matters, Sir George. Not only the Nollywood, the music also. Our music, the Afrobeat, is becoming global. In fact, it has become global, not becoming. You guys in America had your the game recently.
That's right.
The
basketball.
Yeah, the basketball game, and also the other game, the other championship. And in between the breaks were Nigerian Afro artists entertaining this large crowd, large physical crowd, large network crowd, and Nigerians were there. Burna Boy, Wizkid, Davido, Teams, take notes. Thames, the young lady, just got the Oscar for her song. And the government of Nigeria is not paying attention to this wonderful emergence of something that could turn around Nigeria also. That's a huge income we're overlooking. Jamaica, the Jamaicans use their reggae music. I mean, at the beginning of the program, you talked about Bob Marley with this music, Emancipate Yourself, you know. Now, you could talk about Bob Marley because Bob Marley was presented to the world, and Jamaicans made their music a package. And today, that music has become $1 million business also, you know. So Nigerian government is not looking at Nollywood, the Nollywood industry. Nigerian government is not paying attention to the Afrobeat artists that is taking over the world. Sir George, what do you say about this? These are real issues. These things really do
These
matter.
things are very very real issues. Look at the opportunities that are presented to us today. The best doctors and best surgeons you can think of are Nigerians, but they can't survive in Nigeria. When we talk about brain drain, they cannot make it in Nigeria because they go outside. Afrobeat has been beating the drums for almost a decade, and the radio stations, the TV stations, nobody wants to recognize them. But all of a sudden, that time has come for Nigeria to begin to reap the fruit of their labor, because they have been planting for so long. Now listen to this. We're talking about music, we're talking about movies. Give a Nigeria anything, they will take it to the moon. That is how intelligent our people are. We shine everywhere we go. Whenever we come to a place, if there are no opportunities, we will turn their trash into cash. That's who Nigerians are. So now you look at it from this standpoint. You have such great opportunity, but you are allowing some uneducated derelicts to rule you. How can they give you what they don't have? How can they answer your question when they don't even know what the questions are? They're trying to give you answers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that is one thing we need to understand. Will we continue in this vein? Look at the India. So many countries are outsourcing to India to use their IT people. Many of the companies in Canada are using India because they have stable electricity and they're training their people in IT industry. Can they be compared to the intelligence of Nigerians? No way. But what is it? The same old thing. We think the same way, we speak the same language, and we act the same way, and we think we can expect a different result. It is not going to happen. There must be a paradigm shift, especially with the youth of our days in the way they think.
You know,
let me tell you something. Okay, when you go to stores in Canada right now, Afrobeat is the order of the day. You go to many clubs right now, they don't even play North American music anymore. And if they do, they play more of Afrobeat than what they play of their own songs. Can you just imagine?
Can you imagine that?
Can you just imagine? It is incredible. So now what we are saying is we need a Nigerian leader. We don't need an Igbo leader. We don't need a Yoruba leader. We don't need a Fulani or Hausa leader. What we need is a Nigerian leader. For the very first time, Nigeria, the opportunity to do the right thing by selecting not these old politicians. Look at their records. Look at their backgrounds. Most of them are rogues. They are thieves. Because, you move in the direction of your dominant thoughts. Whatever they're thinking about is their pockets and how to be able to cheat and, manipulate the economy of the country for their own pockets. So that's what they're doing. They're not looking at the masses. What can we do to better our country? What can we do to make sure there is security in the country? What can we do to grow the small businesses that are coming up? Because one of the major problems you're going to have is these young people that are coming up right now and trying to establish these businesses. If you do not nurture them, they will die unborn. That's one of the saddest things that we can ever think of. So we have the greatest opportunity.
Yes, we do. So a little of what could be done in, for example, the music industry. With this emergence of these young creative minds, giving us good sound, good vibes, good music. A little of a small advice I can give to the government is Nigerian government could look into establishing a true record label, or giving the opportunity for individuals to own a very good, you see, what we have in Nigeria we don't have record company. We don't have real established record music companies. What we have are just small labels, brands that come to take these people. But do you know something? These stars, for them to become big time, they get attached to the European, to the Western record company. So Thames, for example, is with RCA. Tiwa Savage and all these big stars, they are with America. They are with a record company in America because the ground in Nigeria is not arranged for them to be there. And they could be there in Nigeria because this music is coming out from Nigeria. The vibes and the sound and the beats and everything is being made in Nigeria. But nobody can harness that for them. So they all
now, let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question.
Outside
who are you talking to about business? Is it Buhari with his Muslim background? No, seriously. No, can we be factual in this particular show here? Because this is talking drum. Okay, yes. Let us beat this drum very well. You're going to go to Buhari and you tell him, oh, look at the music industry. What in the world does he know about music industry? What can he do about music industry? So you see, you gotta give opportunity for people seeking for opportunity, people who can see the opportunity and what it can do for the nation as a whole.
That's
Are
correct.
you telling them about music? Are you telling them about movies? They're
Yeah,
not interested in all that.
all that.
So you got to. That is
I,
the reason why I'm saying,
yeah,
do not re-elect or bring back in these old goons that cannot think constructively or have a world view of their
yeah.
mindsets.
So
Don't bring them in. Youth,
also,
listen, all of you, you go to the polling stations, it doesn't matter where they are. Get your phones, get it ready. When they're counting the votes, make sure that you are recording every single thing, because democracy in Nigeria is a sham. Thank you, Buhari, for finally making it possible that for the first time in Nigeria, democracy can actually work with the infrastructure and the technology that they're bringing. Youths, get out there. This is your future. This is your inheritance. It is not them and us. It is we, all of us together. This is
that's
your
correct.
time. Don't go to sleep. Listen, I'm going to say this. There is a story in the Bible when there was so much famine in the land of Samaria that people were actually eating their children, cooking
That's
and
correct.
eating their children.
Yes.
Because another nation from Syria came and encamped and surrounded them. 4 lepers, outcasts. They said, listen, can we go to this enemy? Because maybe they will accept us and feed us. If we stay here, we're going to die. If we go there, maybe they will allow us to live. But unbeknownst to them, that prophecy has already been given, that there is something coming the following day. They decided to march to go to that place. When they were stepping, it was God who made their steps. 4 people seemed like a troop of 100 or 200,000 soldiers. The enemy ran away, and there was so much food in the land. You sit at home and give excuses, and tomorrow you come and talk about the government. You get up and you go. Because if you sit where you are, it is going to remain the same. You get your votes, you go over there and watch over the votes and make sure that you understand who is voting for who. When it all counts, then we can know who is it that truly wins the election, not what they decide when they come together by 12 midnight and then come and announce and say, take me to court. This is the greatest opportunity we have in that country, that we
Yes.
can take over the country. Youth,
Okay.
is your time. Get into politics also.
Thank you very much, George. George, you're really drumming the drum hard, very hard. George, we have just a few minutes. It's a 45 minutes program to get our voice out there, beat the drums as hard as we can. But we'll be coming back also to beat more drums every Tuesday, 9 o'clock Nigerian time, 3 o'clock Eastern Canada, Toronto time. George, before we go, I want us to narrow it down. On Saturday, 25th, we're voting. What do you see from your angle? Who do you pick? Who's your choice? I mean, few words. We have just 2 minutes
I
to go.
choose the
Who's
individual. I choose an individual that has no corruption, that has done it, been there, done that. He's walked from the grassroots, and
yeah?
he has amassed wealth by his
Well,
own self. You don't have any any skeletons in his closet. He's as regular as you and I. He is as transparent as they can be, and any intelligent individual knows that he is the right man for the hour. Peter Obi should be the president for 8 years, and we will see what is going to happen in that country.
thank you very
Give
much.
him 8 years, and I will tell you, I will be back over here to clap for every single one of you. And that's
Yes.
it.
And how he's going to get the job done. Let's simplify things here too. It's putting the right people at key positions when he comes in.
He knows what to do.
Yes, because when you could be a good leader only you can make that move. So it's getting the right team and putting the right team, because what we've always had in Nigeria is square holes being put in round peg. So, I mean, a man that never had understanding of accounting, maybe he did geography, and they'll just bring him and put it to accounting department. Somebody that never did any signing technology, maybe he did health, he was a medical doctor, they will come and tell him, you go and handle the technology side. I mean, mumbo jump, we're just bouncing ourselves around, but it's changing. So Peter Obi's what would be a major strategy of winning is getting the right people, the right team, not just picking people out of emotion, picking people because they supported him, picking people because he's their brother or sister or this. Getting the right team wherever they come from the north, east, west, south, south central, middle belt. Get the right people. Look their CV, look their what they've done, their track record, and put them there, and let's change Nigeria for once and for all.
That man is capable to do the job. Believe me. And that's God's gift to our country this time. If we mess up and miss it, you're gonna give it an Atiku with 6 wives, or you're gonna give it a Siwaju that can't even walk and can't even complete one sentence in 2 minutes. Who are you gonna give it to? The time has come for Nigeria. Wake up, Nigeria. Wake up, youth. You go and vote. That man that you know that will lead that country to the promised land. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Thank you, George. Thank you, viewers. Those of you that have been following us, those of you that have clicked like and supported what we're listening to, what we're saying. This is Talking Drum. This show is a platform that features entertainment. We talk everything: entertainment, politics, lifestyle, fashion. We discuss all issues. George and I and our friend Dr. Okafor. Sadly, he didn't join today, but we'll be back next week again. Don't touch that dial, like they say. Talking Drums.
Next week we're going to be talking about, after the election, the aftermath of the election.
Yes.
All right, Nigerian, wake up, Nigeria. Rise and stand. This is your time.
Nice, George. Thank you, George. Thank you. Bye-bye.